In full view of television cameras, Germany's police raided this mosque in Hamburg. The German government says it's a front for Iran. The Interior Ministry says the organisation has 5 subdivisions in 53 locations across Germany, collectively known as the Islamic Center Hamburg, or IZH. The Interior Ministry goes on to say it's not a charitable organisation, but a direct front for the Supreme Leader of Iran. The case has even prompted a response from the Interior Minister.
It is now certain that the Islamic Center Hamburg acts and is directed against our constitutional order. That is why we are applying one of the sharpest weapons of our law to ban this organisation. This is a further consequent step against Islamist extremism. It is very important to me to make a clear distinction. We are not acting against a religion.
In November, the Germans said they established a direct link between the Islamic Center of Hamburg and Hezbollah, and that is what led to the raid now. That evidence has not been made public. Iran has now summoned a German ambassador in Tehran.
Nobody has been arrested, so I think escalation has not reached a peak, and it might not. It is understandable that Iran summons the ambassador, but I think the diplomatic exchange on this will deliver further results that can then form a consistent politics.
In 2020, Germany declared Hezbollah a terrorist organization and banned it in the country. The Islamic Center of Hamburg has long been under observation by Germany's domestic intelligence agency. The centre has said in the past it condemns every form of violence and extremism and has always advocated peace, tolerance and interreligious dialogue. Imran Khan, Al Jazeera.
In plain sight of TV cameras, German police stormed a mosque in Hamburg. The German government has chosen to close one of its largest and oldest mosques, the Blue Mosque in Hamburg, and to prohibit the nationwide Shia Muslim organisation that oversees it, the Islamic Center of Hamburg, ICH, due to accusations of religious extremism and ties to the terrorist group Hezbollah. Officials claim the centre acts as a front for Iran. The Interior Ministry reports that the organisation has 5 branches in 53 locations across Germany.
Germany's Interior Ministry said it had placed a ban on the Islamic Center Hamburg and its subsidiary organizations on Wednesday for allegedly pursuing radical Islamist goals and supporting Iran and Hezbollah. Interior Minister Nancy Faeser said that she banned the Islamic Center as it was promoting Islamist extremist totalitarian ideology in Germany, and that this Islamist ideology is opposed to human dignity, women's rights, an independent judiciary and our democratic government. Faeser added that the ban was not an act against a religion. The ministry stated that 53 of the organization's premises in 8 German states were searched early on Wednesday under a court order. It also added that the IZH promoted anti-Semitism and acted as a direct representative of Iran's supreme leader, seeking to bring an Islamic revolution in Germany. 4 Shiite mosques were closed as a result of the ban, including the Hamburg-based IZH and its subgroups in Berlin, Frankfurt and Munich.
It is now evident that the Islamic Center Hamburg operates against our constitutional principles. For this reason, we are using one of our most stringent legal measures to ban this organisation. This is another decisive step against Islamist extremism. It's crucial for me to clarify. We are not targeting a religion. Germany has closed one of its oldest and largest mosques and banned the nationwide Shia Muslim organisation running it due to religious extremism. Early on Wednesday, dozens of police officers raided Hamburg's Blue Mosque and 53 other properties across Germany in a major crackdown on political Islamism. The Interior Ministry announced the formal banning of the Islamic Center of Hamburg and its associated entities for advocating totalitarian rule, aggressive anti-Semitism, and support for the terrorist group Hezbollah. 3 additional mosques in Berlin, Frankfurt, and Munich were also raided and shut down. Interior Minister Nancy Faeser stated that the ICH spreads an Islamist totalitarian ideology in Germany. This ideology opposes human dignity, women's rights, an independent judiciary, and our democratic state. It's essential to make a clear distinction. We are not acting against the religion. We differentiate between Islamists, whom we deal with sternly, and the many Muslims who are part of our country and practice their faith. Iran's foreign ministry summoned the German ambassador to Tehran to denounce the hostile act and warned of the repercussions of such destructive actions, which they claim represent a clear case of Islamophobia. According to the official news agency INA, Iran informed Germany that the measure might incite religious and sectarian tensions. The ICH, which did not respond to a request for comment, has previously denied any extremism allegations. It was one of Germany's most prominent Shia organizations and a founding member of the Central Council of Muslims in Germany. However, the group has faced increased scrutiny recently, with rising calls for its shutdown due to its hardline religious doctrine and connections to extremist groups abroad. German domestic intelligence has intermittently monitored the Blue Mosque since 1993, and in 2017, security authorities officially labelled it as an instrument of the Iranian regime.
It is now certain that the Islamic Center Hamburg acts and is directed against our constitutional order. That is why we are applying one of the sharpest weapons of our law to ban this organisation. This is a further consequent step against Islamist extremism. It is very important to me to make a clear distinction. We are not acting against a religion.
Germany has shut down one of its largest and oldest mosques, the Blue Mosque in Hamburg, and banned the Shia Muslim organisation that runs it due to allegations of religious extremism. The shutdown of the Blue Mosque and the ban on the Islamic Center of Hamburg, ICH, represent a significant escalation of the German government's efforts to combat what it sees as religious extremism within the country's Muslim communities. While the government insists this is not an attack on Islam or Muslims in general, the move has sparked condemnation from Iran and raised concerns about potential sectarian tensions. As the debate over the appropriate balance between security and civil liberties continues, this case will likely have lasting implications for the relationship between the German state and its Muslim citizens. Germany has shut down one of its largest and oldest mosques, the Blue Mosque in Hamburg, and banned the Shia Muslim organisation that runs it due to allegations of religious extremism and links to the terrorist group Hezbollah, with claims that the organisation is a front for Iran. The Interior Ministry reports that this organisation has 5 subdivisions in 53 locations across Germany. On Wednesday morning, dozens of police raided the Blue Mosque and 53 other properties across Germany in one of the biggest crackdowns on political Islamism in years. The Interior Ministry announced the ban on the Islamic Center of Hamburg and its affiliated organizations for promoting totalitarian rule, aggressive anti-Semitism, and support for the terror group Hezbollah. Additionally, 3 other mosques in Berlin, Frankfurt, and Munich have also been raided and closed. The Islamic Center of Hamburg propagates an Islamist totalitarian ideology in Germany, said Interior Minister Nancy Faeser. This ideology opposes human dignity, women's rights, an independent judiciary, and our democratic state. It is important to distinguish that we are not acting against a religion. We differentiate between Islamists, against whom we take tough action, and the many Muslims who belong to our country and live their faith peacefully. In response, Iran's foreign ministry summoned the German ambassador to Tehran to condemn the action, warning of potential consequences and labeling it as Islamophobia. According to Iran's official news agency, IRNA, they conveyed that this measure could incite religious and sectarian tensions. The Islamic Center of Hamburg, which previously denied accusations of extremism, has not responded to requests for comment. The Islamic Center of Hamburg, ICH, was one of the most prominent Shia organizations in Germany and a founding member of the Central Council of Muslims in Germany. However, it has faced increasing scrutiny in recent years due to its hardline religious doctrine and links to extremist groups outside Germany. The Blue Mosque has been intermittently monitored by German domestic intelligence since 1993 and was formally designated by security authorities in 2017 as an instrument of the Iranian regime. The German government's zero-tolerance crackdown on political Islamism, intensified by Hamas's attack on Israel in October last year, aims to show strong support for Israel and Jewish life in Germany, addressing criticisms of inaction against domestic religious extremism. Investigations into the Islamic Center of Hamburg, ICH, began last November when police searched its properties and confiscated evidence.
The Hamas attack on Israel in October last year prompted a zero-tolerance approach from the German government, which has emphasized its support for Israel and Jewish life in Germany, countering criticism of inaction against domestic religious extremism. Investigations into the ICH began last November when police searched ICH properties and seized evidence. Intelligence agencies and police concluded that the organization was highly secretive, creating a false image of tolerance while secretly working towards an Islamic revolution in Germany, according to the Interior Ministry. Relations between security authorities and many German Muslim groups remain strained amid a sharp increase in anti-Semitic hate crimes nationwide. Anti-Semitic incidents surged 83% in 2023, according to the government's independent commissioner. However, Berlin has also faced criticism for its heavy-handed approach to regulating opinions on the Gaza conflict, sometimes failing to distinguish between legitimate criticism of Israeli policy and racial hatred. Sabine Dorin, Germany's junior minister for higher education, resigned last month after her ministry explored legal ways to defund research by German academics who signed a public letter criticising a police crackdown on anti-Israeli student protests.
The simmering Israel-Hamas conflict has become a flashpoint between the West Asian part of the world and European nations. Germany and Iran are the latest examples. Now, Tehran has summoned the German envoy over a controversial closure of an Islamic center in the city of Hamburg. Now, Germany has quote-unquote banned the Hamburg's Islamic center on the charge that it was propagating extremism. This is what the German nation claims. Not only this, the city's iconic Imam Ali Mosque, better known as the Blue Mosque, was also placed under investigation by the Germans. Now, the country's Interior Minister Nancy Faeser made the announcement on Wednesday. Listen in.
Nach den umfassenden Durchsuchungsmaßnahmen
Today we have banned Hamburg's Islamic Center. Following the extensive search measures, our security authorities have analyzed the confiscated material. It is now certain that the Islamic Center Hamburg acts and is directed against our constitutional order.
ein Verbot dieser Organisation.
The Interior Minister Nancy Faeser, however, also made it clear that Germany is not acting against a particular community or a religion, although this particular action did crack down on a particular Islamic center.
Das ist ein weiterer konsequenter Schritt gegen.
It is very important to me to make a clear distinction. We are not acting against a religion. We are making a clear distinction between Islamists, against whom we are taking a tough action, and the many Muslims who belong to our country and live their faith.
Die zu unserem Land gehören und ihren Glauben leben.
But Iran, of course, is not buying into any of these explanations that have been put out by the German Foreign Ministry. It has now promptly issued a statement saying, and I quote here, following the action of the German police which closed down a number of Islamic centers, the German ambassador has been summoned today to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But what is an Islamic center? What is the Islamic Center of Hamburg? Now, the organization is considered to be the Iranian extension in Germany, and it commands a significant influence over certain mosques and associations in the West European nation. Now, Germany's Interior Ministry has also accused the organization of trying to spread Iranian revolutionary ideas in a pretty aggressive manner. Not only this, about 53 properties associated with the Islamic Center have been searched and 4 mosques have been shut down in Germany. Now, the Islamic Center in Hamburg is accused of supporting Lebanon's Hezbollah. In 2020, Germany designated Hezbollah as a terrorist organization, although Hezbollah, remember, is a part of the governing setup in Lebanon.
The closure of the Blue Mosque and the ban on the ICH mark a significant intensification of the German government's efforts to counter religious extremism within the country's Muslim communities. While the government asserts this is not an attack on Islam or Muslims in general, the move has nonetheless drawn condemnation from Iran and raised concerns about potential sectarian tensions. As the debate over balancing security and civil liberties continues, this case will likely have long-lasting effects on the relationship between the German state and its Muslim citizens. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and for more content like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel.